So the question from today's passage on the 7th of September is, what are you doing in secret? And what most of us do is we do bad stuff in secret, which is why we, if it's because it's bad, we want to keep it secret so we don't tell anyone. But what Jesus is saying here is actually turn that on its head. The stuff that I want you to do in secret, the stuff I don't want you to tell anyone about, is the good stuff. So when you give in secret. When you pray, go into your room, close the door and pray quietly so that no one else knows about it. When you fast in secret. And then your Father who is unseen, God is unseen, but he still sees. Your Father who is unseen will see what you do in secret and he will reward you. And for all of us, what we have is we have an outer world of kind of a doing well at school or in our jobs, of our possessions, of our Twitter, on our Facebook. We have this whole outer world that we manage, and we also have an inner world that we have to care for as well, a spiritual world. And what we can sometimes do is we can do these things like prayer or like giving or like fasting that really are to benefit us spiritually, but we really do it actually to big ourselves up in the outer world. So it's like, I'll give in a way that's going to make me look good. So what I find at the end of a church service is I will stack the chairs if there's a lot of people standing around watching, because then I'm like, well, these people are going to think that I am servant-hearted, so I should probably go ahead and stack the chairs, and they might be watching me thinking, wow, Andy, he's one of the pastors of this church, and he's stacking the chairs. Oh my word, what humility. What I find, if I'm really honest, is if no one's there, and there's rubbish everywhere, and there's chairs to stack, I'm like, oh my word, I can't be bothered to do this. What does that say about me, about why I'm doing it? I'm doing it not so much to care for my own soul and to connect with God and to really do it as a worshipful act to him. I'm doing it because I want to impress people. And Jesus is saying, when we do these things, actually keep it a secret, because the temptation's always going to be to tell everyone, and we don't have to tell everyone, obviously. We just drop it into conversation really quietly. So, oh yeah, I just happened to be praying for 7 or 8 hours yesterday and this happened to me. Like that, we can find ways quietly of bigging ourselves up. He's saying resist the temptation even to do that. Keep these things just between you and God. And when you do that, you get a reward. And the reward is intimacy with him. It's intimacy with the Father. What God delights in is when he looks at us and he sees that we do things that are just for him. That no, it's not for anybody else. It's just for an audience of one. It's just for his pleasure and for his delight. What are those things that you're doing that the reason you know they're only for God is because you don't tell anyone else about them? In a good marriage, a couple will have a couple of things, a few secrets that are just between the two of them, that only those two people know. And what that brings about is a closeness and an intimacy. It's the same thing with God. He wants us to do these things for his pleasure and for his delight, not for anyone else's. So, the challenge is, next time you give something away, next time you pray or fast, don't tweet about it. Don't put it on Facebook. Don't do what I do, which is just drop it into conversation to make yourself look good. Just keep your mouth shut and do it for him, and he'll delight in that, and he'll reward us with his presence.